Want to pass your driving test on your first attempt? There are a number of things you need to understand, and also a few important things you need to bring with you on the actual day. Let's begin with the skills you need to have. If you can confidently go through all of these and feel comfortable doing them on your own, then you're putting yourself in a very strong position to pass and, more importantly, to feel calm and confident during the test. The first skill is moving off and pulling up safely. During your driving test, the examiner will ask you several times to pull over at the side of the road and then move off again. This could happen around 4, 5, or even 6 times. It's important to understand that this is completely normal. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. The examiner is simply checking how well you can bring the car to a controlled stop, secure it safely, and then move away again without hesitation or risk. The next key skill is your use of mirrors. You need to be using your mirrors regularly and, more importantly, at the correct times. The examiner is paying close attention to 3 main situations. Are you checking your mirrors before you give a signal? Are you checking them before you change direction? And are you checking them whenever you change your speed? Doing this consistently shows that you're fully aware of what's happening around you and that you're making safe, informed decisions. After that comes signaling. You need to make sure your signals are clear, properly timed, and actually useful to other road users. Signaling too early can confuse people, and signaling too late might not give others enough time to react. Think of your signals as a way of communicating your intentions. Your goal is to make sure everyone around you understands exactly what you're about to do. Next is anticipation and forward planning. This is where you move from just reacting to the road to actually reading it in advance. Try to think ahead as much as possible. Instead of only focusing on the car directly in front of you, look much further down the road. Watch how traffic is behaving, notice potential hazards early, and plan how you're going to respond. This kind of thinking makes your driving smoother, safer, and more controlled. Another important area is speed control. It's not just about recognizing speed limit signs, it's about understanding that the maximum speed isn't always the safest speed. If the road becomes narrower, if there are more pedestrians, or if visibility is reduced, then you need to adjust your speed accordingly. On the other hand, if the road opens up and conditions improve, you can increase your speed, but always in a controlled and safe manner. Next, think about how you interact with other road users. A large number of driving test mistakes happen because the driver didn't respond correctly to something happening ahead. Whether it's another vehicle, a cyclist, or a pedestrian, you need to show that you can react safely and appropriately. Reflect on your lessons. If you're usually able to deal with situations calmly and safely, then you're already doing the right thing. Now let's talk about junctions, including T-junctions and crossroads. You should have a clear and consistent routine when approaching them. That routine should include checking your mirrors, signaling if needed, positioning your car correctly, adjusting your speed, and carefully observing before making your move. You need to be comfortable handling both quiet and busy junctions, as well as different types of turns. Next up are roundabouts, which many learners find challenging. To handle these well, you need plenty of practice. You should understand lane positioning, when to give way, and how to choose the correct exit. Whether it's a small roundabout or a larger, more complex one, the key is being able to approach and navigate it confidently without needing assistance. Then we have pedestrian crossings. You need to be very aware when approaching these. Never stop your vehicle on a crossing, and always look out for pedestrians who may be about to cross. If you notice someone approaching the crossing, you should be ready to slow down and stop if necessary. Anticipation is very important here. Next is dual carriageway driving. These are roads where traffic moving in opposite directions is separated by a central divider. Not all of them are high-speed roads, but they still require confidence and good awareness. You need to know how to join safely, maintain your lane, and exit correctly when required. Now let's move on to manoeuvres. This is something many learners worry about. The important thing to remember is that perfection is not required. What really matters is safety. The examiner is looking closely at your observations. Are you checking your surroundings properly? Are you aware of other road users? If you make a small mistake in positioning, you can correct it. But if you fail to observe properly, that's a much bigger issue. Next is the emergency stop. This is often overlooked, but it's actually quite simple to learn. It doesn't take long to practice, but it's important that you've done it before your test so you're not caught by surprise. You should also be prepared for different driving conditions. This includes driving in rain, bright sunlight, or other challenging situations. You need to know how to operate your wipers, lights, and sun visor without thinking about it. If you're unsure how to use these during your test, it can distract you from focusing on the road. Finally, there is independent driving. For a large portion of your test, you'll be expected to follow directions from a sat-nav. If you've never used one before, it's very important to practice. It gives instructions differently compared to an instructor. In some cases, instead of using a sat-nav, you'll be asked to follow road signs for a period of time. So you need to be comfortable reading signs and following directions on your own. Now, let's talk about what you need to bring on the day. If you're using your own car, there are a few important requirements. You'll need an additional interior mirror for the examiner. You must have L plates clearly displayed at the front and rear. The car must be insured for you as a learner driver. It should have valid tax and an up-to-date MO. And it's a good idea to make sure the car is clean and presentable, regardless of whether you're using your own car or an instructor's car. There's one thing you absolutely must have: your driving license. Without it, you won't be allowed to take the test. Other forms of identification won't be accepted, so make sure you bring the actual license with you. If you're able to drive safely, confidently, and independently during your lessons, then there's no reason you can't do exactly the same on your driving test. That brings us to the end of this video. If you found it helpful and you feel more prepared for your driving test, make sure you give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content just like this. Remember, passing your driving test isn't about being perfect, it's about being safe, confident, and consistent. If you have any questions, or there's anything you're unsure about, drop it in the comments and I'll be happy to help. And if you want to keep improving, check out the next video on your screen. It's designed to help you get even closer to passing your test first time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.